Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite. Today's date is Monday, September 13th, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the current positions that I have and trying to just fill you in on how I'm playing them and what I'm doing overall in the market. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I wrote out all of the different coins that I am currently in my trading account. I also went ahead and I wrote out the different coins that I'm in my investment accounts, which is right here. And then also I have some deep storage coins, but those are secret. Those are secret ones. I don't want to get into them because they're sort of, some of them are lower market caps. I've talked about them before. If you follow me enough, you'll know exactly which ones I'm talking about. But yeah, these are the different coins. So I'm going to go through these. Firstly, though, of course, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the dominance levels and the total market cap. We're going to go through all of that. So let's just get started. So I always like to start off on the total market cap because the total market cap is basically just a general gist of how big the market is. It's all the cryptocurrencies put together. So I like to look at this, and you can see that we obviously had that huge fall down in May. This washed a lot of people out. And then, of course, we had that insane run up where it was just like day after day after day after day after day, nonstop. It came up, 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 up. And then honestly, it came all the way up to just below the previous high over here. And then it had a big correction on the 7th, which was the day that like El Salvador was supposed to actually, adopt Bitcoin or something like that, give $30 Bitcoin to everyone in the nation. I don't know. It was some type of buy the news, sell the rumor. Sorry, buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. But you didn't even have to know about that event, to be honest. You could have literally just looked at the total market cap and also the total 2 market cap and saw right here, oh, we're in resistance. We're daily close resistance right here. So you want to hedge your bets. You want to sell off right here. And that would have been like pretty standard. So even without knowing the news, you can figure out things just by looking at the charts. And so where are we now? Well, we hit the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement from the bottom to the top over here. And this also lines up with the 61.8 from the top to the bottom. So there's and a lot of support. And then, of course, we're getting a lot of support here as well. So this is a very good support zone. When it hits this is a good time to go in. So on the daily, it might be too big of a time frame, too high of a time frame. But if it hits it on, say, like the 4 hour, then you'll be able to see it. But even it hit it and it wicks up, so really it's like right when it hits it is when you want to know. I'm trying to figure out how to set up alerts on the total market cap. For some reason, TradingView and other trading softwares don't let you set alerts up for this like they do for the actual cryptocurrencies. But I'm figuring this out right now, and hopefully I'll have more of that in the future because that would be actually awesome for something for me to give you guys, if in the VIP at least, when I give out alerts to know for instance, when the total market cap comes back up here, this would be another good time to start hedging your bets against, with your cryptocurrencies. So anyway, we're down here and we're sort of consolidating. So now it's like, okay, so we're consolidating above the 38.2. That's pretty good. Will we come back up here, add another 19% onto the total market cap? That's a possibility. But it's also, this candle was really, really bad. This was a huge sell-off. However, the following a couple hours ended up rebounding extremely well, and we've been rebounding, going a little bit lower. So just looking at the chart, bringing it in a little bit. All you can really do is play level to level, and you could see right here is a level. It basically closed at the exact same level twice. So this is clearly the big resistance right here. But like if it comes over here and closes above this, then this is breaking the market structure back up to a higher high, and hopefully it'll return back to up here. got to be a little cautious right now, of course. September is September. It's usually a flat month or a negative month. By the time October comes around, though, I do want to be heavily exposed to cryptocurrencies because I believe October is going to be the start of an uptrend, and then November is probably going to be the actual uptrend. So that's the total market cap, total 2. Like I just said before, hit the top again, had this insane run up, hit the top, came back down. I sort of like this total 2 a little bit better than the total 1 because total 1, it didn't quite hit the very, very top. And that's sort of like a complacency bounce. It's an insane complacency bounce. So it's actually like, I don't think it's a complacency bounce. I think it's more of a complacency bounce than total cap 2. This is bullish where it hits the top again. If it hits the top twice, that's still bullish. And it could be a double top, sure, and you want to sell here, yeah, but it would be much worse if it, for instance, I'm trying to get this thing. If it literally came up here, hit the 61.8, and then bounced all the way back down to here again, that would have been very, very, very bad. But instead, it came all the way up here, and now it's, consolidating above the 38.2. Consolidating above the 38.2 is very, very bullish. It's very good. And to be honest, it usually what happens is the price comes up and then comes back down to either the 38.2 or the 61.8 and then bounces back up. So if we get rid of this, maybe we could even go down here and you could see that, the price came all the way up, came all the way down to the 61.8, had this like bounce, and then came all the way back up to retest the all-time highs. I mean, that, to me, that's bullish. To me, that's we're in a bull market. We're not in a bear market. And to compound on that, we still have coins like Solana, like Quant Network, like I guess HBAR, like we have a lot of coins that are still going up and are still doing really well. In a full-on bear market, you don't have coins doing very well. Coins just go down, so I don't know. I'm still very, very bullish for 2021. If we come back up here, maybe I'll take some risk off the table a little bit. And if we hit this line, I'll take some more risk off the table, especially if we come back to, or all the way up to 1.9 trillion. That's very close to the $2 trillion number. But overall, like it's sort of difficult to say just from this chart, just from the total market cap charts. But overall, I'm not like scared. I'm not like, holy crap, sell everything right now, So I would rather have my buys in. I'd rather put my bids in at lower levels and see where that takes me. So that's exactly what I did with Bitcoin. Actually, not sure which chart I used for this. This is the one I used. So the 38.2. So after this big drop and then this big rebound, it's like, okay, so we did have this big drop. So I want to put it in here. So I put my buy in right here at the 43,500. $43,501 and, snagged some up right here, or I guess right here. And I'm sort of just waiting this out. Of course, I have my stop losses in place. And then the next place that I would want to buy Bitcoin would be down here at $38,551. That's the golden ratio. That's the 61.8 right here. So I'll probably be pretty much going heavy into Bitcoin right around here if there is a big drop. And I wonder, so that's literally taking it from the bottom to the top. It's not even the bottom to the top. This is the bottom to the top up here. Let me do this. And this is the 61.8, 38,239. I want to get in a little bit beforehand, so 38,551. That is where I would do it. But otherwise, I'm in it right here. So I did buy some Bitcoin here, and I'm sort of just waiting this out. But before we actually get more into the actual coins, I want to go into the market dominance levels, Bitcoin dominance levels. So this is super important, and this was also another really big indicator of we were going to crash. Although, there's nothing, this isn't an exact science or anything like that. But when things start coming into their previous highs, that's when you want to hedge your bets, So we had this huge thing up here and this huge run up for Bitcoin dominance. And excuse me, not Bitcoin dominance, altcoin dominance levels, right? And then it crashed, and that was back in May. And then obviously we had this huge run up. And then just on the 7th, this was the 7th, we had this very weird candle on the dominance chart. And then oddly enough, the crypto market cap for altcoins is continuing to go up even higher. So that is actually bullish news. That's actually bullish news because normally I would think that if this was bearish, like we would have, like I said before, we would have went up, came all the way down, right? And then we would have probably somewhere around here fallen and then just like crashed back down, and that would have been very, very bearish. But because we moved all the way up here, and we're not even all the way at the top yet, we still have some time to go. If we go on the weekly chart, you could see it even better. Like this was the 2017 highs, 2018 highs back here. So like I'm sort of waiting on that. And then if we get into a super cycle, then altcoins are going to go even more parabolic. And I would probably sell most of them when the dominance levels reach around 63%. And then if it ever gets up to 68%, I'm getting the heck out of there. I'm selling all my crypto into fiat, and then I'm gonna wait for the next bear market because this is when things just would get absolutely insane. And this is when I think there would be an alt super cycle. So that's the dominance levels. And yeah, I mean, we're coming into the highs, the previous highs. We're not quite there yet. I'll just put this on the exact top right there. So you could see we didn't actually hit it. And like, this is where I would really have liked the, I guess, retracement to be on a lot of these alts instead of on the 7th. So it didn't really follow the Bitcoin dominance or the dominance levels for Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general, but it did follow the total market cap. And so these are just different things that you could use. You can't just rely on the Bitcoin dominance levels or just rely on the market cap, because one of them might not be exactly like the other in terms of what happens. But if you combine all of them, you get a really good picture. And honestly, because the total market cap is falling, but the total 2 market cap is falling, which is the crypto altcoins, but the altcoins rising in dominance levels. That means that more money is going from Bitcoin into altcoins still. And to me, that's a very, very, very bullish. If we look at Bitcoin dominance levels, you could see that Bitcoin dominance came down into the previous support level, and this is what happened, and this is when the big crash happened back here. This chart is really just the inverse of the altcoin dominance chart, but I mean, down over here you should de-risk a little bit. This is where I think de-risking some is pretty important, because imagine like it fell down here, right? And I guess you can't really. Let me look for an example really quickly. Give me 1 second. So if I go to the weekly chart on the Bitcoin dominance level, imagine it's back 2018 and you see Bitcoin dominance falling, and then all of a sudden you get this move right here, this really weird move. In fact, if I go to the daily, it'll probably be a little bit easier to see. Let me just go all the way back over here. And yeah, and you get this move, and then all of a sudden this market structure breaks. Well, then if it comes back, now it's more of a bearish sentiment in terms of altcoins, because this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. So you want to go more back into Bitcoin now. And of course, even though Bitcoin did fall 75% or 80% or something like that, the altcoins fell way harder. And 90% or 95%, some of them, a lot of them, 99%. But this would have been a really good time to just de-risk right around here and just go back into Tether or go back into Bitcoin, right? So anyway, if it comes back down to this level again, this is where I'm going to sell a big portion of my portfolio. If we go back to the weekly, you could see that Bitcoin dominance is falling again, and it just honestly, it looks like still looks pretty weak. Like altcoins look like they're going to do pretty well still, but this is the area to be cautious in, especially during the next couple days. Like if it comes back down here and like closes somewhere around here, I'd probably want to take a little bit of profits off the table. I'm gonna have to continually check up on this. But anyway, that's Bitcoin those are the dominance levels. Going into actually going into Bitcoin. Well, if you start off on the weekly chart, right, you could see that, or I guess the monthly chart. This is my monthly chart. We have the highs, we have the lows. Highs were right here. The lows were 61.8, and to be honest, this monthly chart does not look that good, given what I was just talking about before about the price going up, and then coming back down here. This is bad. To be honest, it should come all the way back up here. That would be much better in my opinion, but this isn't. So monthly actually isn't really looking that good. I'd probably want to de-risk, to be honest. Maybe because it's like, let me just check some older prices. I would stick to this. I'd probably de-risk. I'd buy it, but I would just be careful. So this right here is known as a like break in the market structure. So you could see that, price was going up. But then we had this giant candle and it closed right over here. So technically, like, we're making lower high on the daily, and of course lower low. Although this one, we need to see what today's day brings. But right now it's Bitcoin. I don't know. I really wouldn't want to be too heavily involved into Bitcoin. So bringing that down into the daily chart, you could see that I have my levels plotted out. Like I said before, I'm already in from 43,700 or 44,000, and I'll have my stop at pretty much break even. What I do is I start off on the daily and then I go into the 4 hour. So we're still heading down. Like it's not very good, but I want to be exposed because like overall, like I still think that we're overall bullish. Like I expect Bitcoin to be a lot higher than what it is now by the end of the year. But of course, like this is my trading account, so it's not like I'm just like accumulating in this account. This is like all trades. So I put in an order here, I got filled, and now my stop is either going to be, my stop is actually, it's going to be break even, because you could see that this goes all the way back here, and it's below. Actually, let me reverse that real quick. This is where it was. So this is where it was, and it's pretty much below all of these wicks, or it's within all of these wicks. And so I have a timeout, a stop loss timeout. So yeah, it could come down here for a second or for like a few hours, but then it'll probably wick back up. So if it comes back down here for more than 4 hours and it closes below where I got in, then I will get out. And it's pretty much as simple as that. And then I'll put in buy orders down here. Probably, honestly, to be honest, I'll probably start stacking in at 41, and I'll stack in within this zone right here. But I'm not really looking at Bitcoin even too much, like, because these altcoin plays. Well, actually, no, I am looking at Bitcoin now because of where the Bitcoin dominance chart is, right? Like that's why I go over these Bitcoin dominance charts, because this is the altcoin dominance, and once altcoin dominance comes up here, like I'll be wanting to go more heavy into Bitcoin, more heavy into Tether and stuff like that. But we still have a little bit of time. We still have a little bit of time on the dominance chart for alts. So once it hits here, once it hits like up here in this level, 60% ish, I'll get like a little bit more worried, to be honest, and start scaling out of more of my alts for the time being, and obviously using like levels on their particular charts. So that's Bitcoin, and then Ethereum is like There's Ethereum right here. So I go on the weekly chart, weekly close resistance. So yeah, this was like the previous weekly close resistance was right here, and it's pretty much got rejected straight off of that. So just like how the total 2, this lined up very well with the daily close on the total 2. It lined up very well with the weekly close on the Ethereum pair, and now Ethereum is back down here. It's bouncing off of the exponential moving average right now. I follow the 7 and 21, but actually this is not what it should be. I need to change this real quick. Okay, so I just changed this to 12 and 24 because that's what I've that's what I've been using for a long time. I don't know why it was switched to 7 and 21, but anyway, I switched it to that. And so yeah, this is what Ethereum is looking like right now. If I go to I think this is my daily chart. Wow, it looks very similar to what Bitcoin did. Came down 38.2, hit it a couple times, come back up. So I'm actually, I put this in my market update. If you watched my market update a few days ago, you would have seen to buy right here. So if you bought here, congratulations, you're up like 4%, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing with this. Put my stop at break even, and then I'm going to put bids in right here if it breaks below. This is a lot of support right here. So maybe it'll just come down, tap this, but if it comes down, taps this, then I'll just like wait on the lower time frames. I'll look at the 4 hour or something and see if it turns around, and then maybe I'll try to hop back in with a close stop, and that will be my strategy for Ethereum. But right now I'm in, so fingers crossed it just like slowly grinds its way back up. And so that was Bitcoin, Ethereum, and of course the dominance levels and the total market cap. And so I'm going to now go over the coins that I am actually in right now in trades. We're going to start off with Atlas. Atlas was the first one that I am in. Okay, so this one took me such a long time to actually get down. What I decided to do with Star Atlas is actually convert a lot of this into a long-term investment, like a super long-term hold. The reason for this is because Star Atlas is a blue chip game, and gaming and the gaming industry is what's going to take crypto mainstream. So I want to be in anything that is a blue chip game or a blue chip gaming platform, or literally like anything that has to do with gaming in the gaming industry that is very, very, very basically, I don't know, like blue chip, like the best of the best. And Star Atlas to me is one of the best of the best. There's a few other ones as well. And so basically what I did was, as soon as Star Atlas came out, somewhere around here, I bought a ton of it, and I just like sold. And then I actually sold all of it up here, I believe. I sold 60% of it up here. And so I'm sort of just like waiting now. I'm just waiting for it to come back up here, and I'll take another 35%, and then I'm just going to leave the rest of it in my long-term investment wallet, and just hopefully it'll blow up like crazy, because this, like I just explained, the gaming industry will be the industry that will take crypto to the moon, and this is one that I really believe in. Also, I did just go through their entire website, and it looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it looks incredible. So that's what I'm doing. But looking at this right now, I do see a possible setup. So this is clearly a floor. But if we take the Fibonacci from the bottom, from where it started right here, the bottom all the way to the top, and we have it right there at the top, you can see that the 61.8 is right here. So even though this is the floor, I trust the Fibonacci way more than I trust price action. So I literally would think that this is a perfect setup for it to just go boom, drop down, everyone gets stopped out because everyone that is, has been buying the floor over here or has their stops underneath of it, like pretty much right here, right at the place where the price should turn back around, and then it'll probably come back up and hopefully shoot up from there. That's my thesis. So I've already took a lot of profits off the table on this one up here. I got lucky, and I just happened to sell the top for most of it. So I'm in the green, like heavily in the green so far, but I'm still gonna wait this one out. So there's a new trade though. There is a new trade that I saw, which obviously is what I just explained to you, which is right here to get in at the 61.8. 10 cents, 0.108. This is actually really good because this is not only the 61.8, but it's a big psychological number of 0.108 or 10 cents pretty much. So if you could, I'm going to put this trade on right here with a proper risk management, not risking any more than just 1 or 2% of my entire portfolio. And so I'm actually going to put this trade on right now. Hopefully I could do that because I already have a trade on. Hopefully I can put another trade on. Moving on to SNX now. This is the second trade or the second coin that was on my list of coins that I'm in. And I put on a trade right here. So I am in a little bit of profit right now. But looking at this again, I don't know. I'm just not really liking it. I like the fact that it had this huge run up, but this is a 20% run up in one day. So honestly, I think that's going to come back down because we're at this resistance, and we finally hit it again, which if you take the Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, this is a 38.2. So we just rallied right into resistance. I'm in profit. And I'm just not feeling as comfortable in this situation right now. Maybe if it flips this, I'll try to get back in around here. But yeah, I'm going to close this one out for a small win. Okay, so since Engine Coin ended up breaking down beneath the 38.2, my next target is the 61.8. So my trade will be right here. And so I'm going to try to get in here. I'm going to put my stop right below the previous lows, all along this line. You could this clear support, clear resistance. So I'll put it right underneath here, which is right where this is. It's also underneath the golden ratio zone. And then I'll try to take my profits right here at the 38.2. Engine Coin also is one that I want to have in my long-term portfolio. Anything to do with the gaming space I want to have in my long-term portfolio, and Engine Coin is one of my favorites, so I'm going to keep that. But yeah, this is my trade setup right here. It's a 2.29 RR, and we will see if this ends up hitting. I'm just going to risk another 1% of my portfolio on this one. Okay, so the next coin that I have up on my list is Solana. And you could see that Solana, just went through a ridiculously stupid run up. And I end up selling all along the way up here, luckily. And now it's on its way back down. So this definitely looks like more of a top than this did, or this. Now that considering this, had just a little bit of a pullback, and all of these were literally just one day of pullback before rushing higher. There's multiple days of pullbacks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're almost on 7 full days of of red in Solana. So what I'm doing is I'm buying a little bit and then a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and I'm actually just like buying down into the red. And once it hits 130, 133, I'm gonna be going in super heavy. Not like all in or anything like that, but I'm gonna going in pretty heavy because I just made so much from this huge run up that now, and I took my profits, so now I could distribute those profits back into Solana at the key supports. So looking at this, this is not an area that I would want to buy into. I wouldn't want to buy into any of this. I would want to wait until there's a pullback. Even 152, like where it's at right now, this is a good area to buy. but it's not a good area to go super heavy because it's still the 23.6, which is not the best Fibonacci. However, if we take the Fibonacci from, let's say, here to the top, 145, that's a possible level. So this is a possible level for a good buy, a good entry opportunity. And then the next entry opportunity is the 38.2 from here, which is 130. And then the next one is the 61.8 from this to this, which is right here at 116, 117. And then finally the 61.8 all the way down here, which is from the major low to the high. And yeah, really all of these levels here, and here are all good supports, and you could tell that they're good supports because of the Fibonacci, plus the fact that there are some confluence at least a little bit over here to the left, at least a little bit over here to the left, at least a little bit. Yeah, that's it, because it went up so high. So anyway, Solana is a project that I'm fully behind. Love this project, and I'm accumulating a little bit of Solana every single day. It's definitely in my long-term investment account. And for my trade setups, I would have entry 1 be at 145, entry 2 be at 133, entry 3 be at 116, 117, and then entry 4 be down here if it is. So this is a particular style of trading that I do that's worked out really well, which is basically like if you find a coin that you think is super good, and you have a high conviction on it, and it had a big rally, you could wait for the prices to come down and just slowly weighted average or weight your averages in. And what that means is that you buy, let's say you buy $100 worth right here. Well, you could buy $200 worth right here, and then you could buy $400 worth right here, and then you could buy $800 worth right here. And or you could even do 100 and then 400 and then 1600 and then 3200 or 5000. You just keep on adding more and more as the price goes down. That is a very solid strategy that usually works out most of the time, almost every single time I've ever used it in solid coins. And then honestly, if because the coins are so solid, because I like them so much, I have no trouble just waiting in case the price dips below or whatever. This is not particularly a trade, like an actual perfect RR trade or anything like that. This is like an investment strategy. It's a totally different strategy. But you know what? This strategy works super freaking well on good coins and then you just wait a long ass time if needed to, or sometimes it reaches, let's say you stack, it'll usually almost always bounce from one of these areas and bounce fairly significantly. So if you get scared, you could always just pull out, over wherever the bounce is. But usually what I'll do is I'll wait for the bounce, and then I'll take the Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, and then I'll get out at the 61.8. So let's say that it came down to like here, right? And then my take profit would be right here at 161, 160. So that's actually a totally different strategy than what I know a lot of people talk about and what other people say. Does it properly manage risk? I think it does, because you're adding on, and it's not like I'm putting 100% of my freaking portfolio into here, but also you have to have like high conviction on these things. Trading cryptocurrency is risky, and if you're gonna get scared if something drops after you put your money in, then and you're gonna pull out, it's probably not for you. But the likelihood of Solana in this environment, in these market conditions, dropping below $89 seems so outlandish to me that I just can't really see that happening. But even if it does, then who knows? Maybe I'll end up putting even more in. But yeah, that's definitely a strategy that I use for high top tier coins that I really, really, really believe in. So with that out of the way, that's Solana. I'm going to go on to the next coin on my list. Okay, so next up on the list is AAVE, and AAVE did something that I think is really important, and you could check this out. So if we look at AAVE on the daily chart, you could see, looking from left to right, it had this huge run up, right? A little bit of consolidation right here, and then just like pounded just way, way, way higher. Fell down, support, 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 busted back up, came down, support, support. So this area right here, and then after it fell, turned into resistance, 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 and then finally now it's above it, right? So this area right here was the perfect area to long because it had this horizontal support that was just so blatantly obvious, right? The price was above it. It was coming back down into it. So you want to, buy when things are going down back into the supports. And not only did it have this horizontal support level, but if we take the diagonal from the lows, it also coincided right there. So this was actually a perfect trade setup. And so if you ever see something like this, it's probably a good idea to take it. You could also try 1, 2, 3. You could also try doing the Fibonacci. I don't know how it would actually work out in this case, but yeah, it turns out, okay, so this is the 61.8. So it came from the bottom to the top and then literally came down straight up to the 61.8. So if we put that here and we put that here, so yeah, it's so many different confluences, whether it be the horizontal support, which is the most important one, the diagonal support, which is also very important, and then the 61.8. That's why this was the best place to get in. So I'm in here, and I actually started getting in a little bit before then, like boom, 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 because I like to stack my orders. And then this is where I'm going to sell it because this was the previous resistance all up in here. This right here, I'm not entirely sure, what this was. This was right before the big crash in May. So I'm going to take my profits right here just to be a little bit more on the safe side. And then I'll figure out what I want to do after that. But yeah, I'm in AAVE. And that's pretty much my game plan for AAVE. I like AAVE. I think AAVE is a great coin. And yeah, I think that it will do very well. Okay, so next up is FTT. This is the exchange token for FTX. And I really like this 61.8 fib ratio right here from the bottom to the top. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks to be like there was 5 waves up, and now there's an A, B, C correction happening right now. Fingers crossed this is what happens. So I'm going to want to get in right here, and I'm probably going to go in sort of heavy and then have my take profit be up here at $97 because that is where the Fibonacci negative 61.8 extension is from here to here. But then also it's where it's $97, right below $100. So $100 is usually a pretty big psychological number. So I'll get out there as well. And yeah, this is going to be my trade, 8.5 RR, pretty solid. Okay, so now we're moving on to comp. So looking at comp, I did notice something. I don't know why I didn't notice this with other coins, but I noticed with comp. This is 1 year since the very, very beginning of the run-up, like the lowest price that comp had back in November 2020. And so it will be 365 days since the lowest price of comp when it comes to November 3rd, 2021, which really isn't that too far away. It's about a month and a half. So there's if you would have just like rode this up, and then you notice that it hit here and then hit here again, then you essentially could have just like put your take profit here or even here if it, came back down, and you probably could have just like, yeah, you probably could have just done this. Notice that this happened, hit here again, came down, touched here, came back up, hit here again, and you could have set your what do I call it, your take profit for right here, and then rebought right here, and then take your profit again right here, and made a solid like extra 35% gains on top of the original gains that you got. Let's say you started right there, so 300. So it would have been like around like 360 gains, 360%. And you'd still be up more than if you would have just held this entire time, all the way up here, all the way down here, and then all the way back to here. So maybe in the long run, if you would just hold, it would be worth a lot more. But this is something that I noticed with trading. And, I'm not saying like this is always the case, because obviously with like Solana, if you would have just held Solana instead of trying to sell it, that would have done really, really, really well. But this does go to show you that trading can be more profitable than holding in the terms of the past 315 days. Not by necessarily too much, but still, if you do it right, if you just play the big time, the higher time frames, just the obvious plays, like this is obvious resistance, right? Resistance. So you just want to sell right here, and this was already support, so obvious support. So just like, okay, I'm gonna buy support right here. It doesn't always come back down to the support, right? Because what if you did it again over here and you sold again right here, and then you want to buy back again right here? Well, it didn't do that. It ended up busting up over it, and you would have missed out on this. But eventually, obviously, now it came all the way back down. So yeah, this is sort of why I like trading, and I like trading like the higher time frames. It just, everything's like pretty easy. I wouldn't say easy, but like it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not super difficult if you understand what you're doing. So anyway, I'm looking at comp right now, and this is my game plan for comp. Basically, this was the major support level right here. You obviously like boom, 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 support, broke down, hit that resistance, and then finally got to the support again, and then it came back down and wicked down over here on the 7th. Came back up, so I'll probably want to raise this up just a tad, but this is pretty obvious support right here, right? And so now it's hopefully back on its way up. I expect there to be some resistance, considering that this has been a fairly good support, diagonal support. So I would expect the price to come back down. So what I do is I look at, let me reverse that. What I do is I take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top over here, and we could even go into the shorter time frames, like the 4-hour, to check it out, get a little bit more clarity. And then I want to get in at the 38.2, which is like $409, basically at $410. So I'll try to get in at like, 410, put my stop below the 61.8, and I'll take my profit right here at the previous highs. And hopefully then I'll be able to re-enter. Let's say I'll take the Fibonacci, let's say this was the bottom, so I could do it again. I could take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top. Sort of messed up right there. From here to here. And then I will get back in, like sell here, and then get back in at $463, which is a 38.2, or maybe $424, something like that. That's stuff that I figure out once we get the top in. But yeah, this looks like a pretty solid play to me. So this is what I'm going to put on right here. I'll go back to the daily, make it a little bit clearer, and publish this and post it to the group. Okay, so next up we have Link, and this one is another one of these coins that's just cemented itself within cryptocurrency. Like, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And so I have bags that I bought down here. And I will continue to add to my position if it comes back down to this line or this line. And I'm pretty much just going to hold them until up here. This isn't like a quote unquote like exact trade with stops and everything like that, but this does have a take profit zone right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell it right here and hopefully buy back right here, because if this was the bottom, then we could take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, look back, and the 23.6 usually always gets hit. And to be honest, even the 38.2 usually always gets hit, but I'll be safe and just grab it back in over at $43 instead of $37, $38, because I like Link a lot. So that's my game plan. And what I do for this is basically I just accumulate on the way down. And then I set my sell orders for up here. And then I put in a smart sell in 3 commas to sell here and rebuy here. And everything is in there already for me. So I just set it and forget it. So that's pretty awesome. And that's going to be my strategy for Link. You can see this is the weekly chart. If we go down to the daily chart, this is a very nice candle on the daily. So even if you wanted to get in on the daily, you can literally just take the fib from the you could take the fib from the bottom to the top and then try to get in at the 61.8 on the daily, or actually go down to the 4-hour to get a little bit of more accuracy over here. Boom, boom, and then put your buy right here. And this would be my stack 1 at 29, and then this would be my other stack 2 down here at 28. So yeah, I would Link is actually looking very, very, very bullish right now. Honestly, like, I'd probably buy more if I wasn't already in it. So yeah, that's Link. And I will, you know what I'll do? I could actually make a trade right here. I could do this. And so I'll just put this over here, like that, and I'll say this could be a trade setup for Link, and then the take profit could just simply be the target. Just look left, and this could be a target. So that's a possibility. We'll see what happens. So that's Link, and then I have a few more to go. Okay, so next up on the list, we have SLRS. This is a Solana ecosystem coin. I entered in right over here on around the 7th, I suppose, or maybe a little bit, maybe it was on the 6th. And then the price rallied up to right underneath the negative 161.8, but it didn't really hit it. So now that it's up here, it's close enough to my take profit. So I'm just going to take profit right here. So I'm going to get out of this SLRS play right here. But maybe if we go to the daily, we can get a little bit of a better 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe a good entry if we start off like this and go up here. I think this would be a pretty solid entry for SLRS right there at 0.67, just because it had such a huge run up already, 220%. So that's SLRS. And then the one that I had after that was Step Finance. This is another Solana ecosystem play. Solana right now is taking a little bit of a hit because of the they had a spam 400,000 transactions go through and they couldn't handle it, which like makes sense because they're only supposed to, I believe, handle like 15,000 transactions per second or something. So the fact that 400,000 came through, and then that's when they got the that's when their servers or whatever the heck happened, like they couldn't handle it. So they crashed. So Solana's like not really doing too well right now. So I'm selling off a lot of my Solana, but I'm still going to be entering into these Solana ecosystem plays because obviously I think things will bounce back just like how they always do. So for Step, I've sort of been accumulating just a bunch of step, like not really a whole bunch, but just like, you know, small amounts here, small amounts there. And so I'm going to actually put on a trade right here. I'm going to buy some at the 61.8, and I'm going to honestly just like let this one run forever. So I don't even need this thing. This is like sort of a longer term investment play. So this is really the play for step for me, which is buy here, and then like you could see, sell 50% and then sell 40% and let the rest ride for steps. So that's what I'm doing. It's not like the biggest portion of my portfolio or anything like that, but it has a lot of potential. So that's why I'm going to be getting it more like an investment type of a play. So the next one up on the list is Phantom FTM. And so I just went through this, and basically what I did was I took the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top right here, and there's a couple different scenarios. This one is the entry one, the 61.8 right here. Or if we do it a little bit differently and we go to the daily chart instead of the 4-hour chart that we were just on, you can see that the 61.8 is actually down here. So, and that also coincides with the previous all-time highs. So I am stacking 2 orders in. One order is right here, and this is my first order, and then my second order is right here. This is going to be my stop, is just going to be like down under here. And if this one gets hit, my first and I'm going to be selling everything right here. If this order gets hit, I'm going to be selling everything right here. So maybe, actually, if this order gets hit, yeah, no, I'll sell everything here. Just to be on the, I guess, the safer side or whatever. And so that is FTM. You could still see, you know, there's still some room for the RSI to dip a little bit lower and stuff on the daily. So I don't see why it wouldn't come all the way back down to at least my entry one. But yeah, that's FTM. After that, we had Dogecoin. Dogecoin is actually in a really good longing area, a little bit lower from here. So I take the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, go down 61.8, look left, see it was support, see it was resistance, see it was support, see it was support and resistance. And I wonder if there was a couple support zones right here as well. So this is a very good time to get in. You could put your stop, look left somewhere either here or maybe right underneath the exponential moving averages or underneath the 65% Fibonacci. Just, you know, stop goes somewhere down here, but I'm going to get in right here, or at least I'm scaling in right here. And honestly, I don't know. I almost want to just like hold on to Doge for a long time just because I know that it's going to have another run up eventually. But we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens with Doge. It's not the biggest portion of my portfolio anymore, but it always should have its place. And I'm actually going to end this series off, or this video off, with Quant Network, because if you know who I am, you know that I love quants. I've been in quant for a long time, and I think that quant will be well over $10,000 one day. So all I'm trying to do is accumulate as much quant as I can. I don't really care about USD price. I just care about how much quant I have. So I have bots that, you know, buy, and then I'll choose a place to sell and then start rebuying back in. But for the most part, I'm not even really selling that much of it. I'm just accumulate more quants. So I don't really have a trade set up for quants, if I'm being honest here, because all I do is just try to accumulate. But if I would say 313 is the first area of interest. You can see there's a big cluster of support down here. It lines up with 38.2, and then of course the 61.8 is right here as well. So those are the two areas that I would want to get into, which is at 313, and then if it comes down to 265, I'll definitely want to accumulate a lot more. So that is quant, and I'm going to end it off here. It's been a while. Those were all of my trades, and I'm going to start doing more updates, going to start providing more trades, going to start doing like as much as I possibly can now that I'm actually settled. Finally, I moved to Miami. I'm settled in my new place. Took me such a long time. Took me literally like 2 to 3 months just to get where I am now. So expect a lot more content and a lot more educational videos coming up. With saying that, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, smash that like button, hit subscribe. If you're not, let's just say good analysis or something like that in the comments. It'll help the YouTube algorithm, And yeah, if hopefully you'll make some money, and we'll just keep on just getting more and more wealthier in cryptocurrencies, because cryptocurrencies are the future. And I don't know about you, but I'm here to stay with them. So I'm ending this off. I'll talk to you later. Bye.